震えなさい。
話が通じないなら
止水の矢。いやはっいや。
Alrighty, so it's taken a while, but I'm finally confident about a build that I'm using on Tartaglia, i.e. Child, that seems to do very, very well. It's probably a bit on the dirty meta side though, but even without the meta aspects of it, it still does very, very well. So let's have a look at it. Here we are in Devalin's place, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and attack this Ruin Guard. So because Tartaglia happens to be a bow character, one of the things I get to make use of is the fact that a Ruin Guard happens to have these weak spots, which does actually stun them. So now I'm going to try and actually hit the weak spot once again, because you can actually hard stun them if you actually hit the weak spot twice. And it doesn't seem to be working, but that's okay. We're still doing some pretty significant damage through the use of the charge attack on the bow, so that is absolutely perfectly fine. And there we go, so he's stun locked. So we're going to now engage with our knives before jumping out the bow ult. Now keep in mind, when you're using the bow ult, you actually get 50% of your ultimate energy back, which means you can use it a lot more often than the melee ult. And that is of course going to be a dead Ruin Guards. So let's have a look at the build that I am using. Here is the build. So the main thing is that we're looking at high crit and high crit damage. So that of course allows me to do quite a lot of power damage with this build. The main thing is that we are using a 5-star bow, and this particular 5-star bow is of course the Skyward Harp, which gives extra crit rate. So of course that is definitely a winner chicken dinner. Now let's have a look at the Tart effects, and what you're going to notice is that it's actually a 2-piece Hydro set as well as a 2-piece Noblesse Oblige set, and this is actually very useful for the way that I use Tart. Basically a lot of water damage through his knives and his bow, and then also doing a lot of extra ultimate damage through the use of his bow mainly. Now we're also using a Hydro bonus cup and a crit damage crown, which of course is probably like the dirty meta standard kind of way of playing it, especially when I have a crit rate bow. Now right now I have him at Constellation 1, and this is mainly after trying to get Rosaria. I managed to get a Constellation on Tart as well as Rosaria at the same time, so that is of course going to be very useful. Pretty happy with Constellation 1, it's definitely useful because I still use his knives from time to time, which means that this particular Constellation is going to be very helpful as well. And of course that allows me to decrease the cooldown of my knives by 20%, so that's of course going to be very useful. Now, in terms of the talents, they're all actually very high in level, but as you can see, I have right now gotten them all to around about the same spot, but as I was leveling up his talents, I was mainly focusing on his charge shot talent, followed by his ultimate, and then followed by his special. I'm not a huge fan of his knives, but of course I will still use them. That being said though, I am trying to play him more like a Ganyu replacement because I actually don't have Ganyu, so that's essentially the idea. So that's pretty much it. Tart is of course a really powerful 5-star character, so he's definitely one of the many 5-stars that you'll find to be terribly useful in a team. There are probably 2 5-stars in the game that are very useful. You can of course figure out who they are for yourself. Now, when it comes to using Tart, I tend to use him in Team Tart, which is of course a Hydro Pyro Cryo rotation using Tart, Jangling, and Rosaria. The way it usually works is I start off with Tart's knives to basically get a bunch of energy for Tart's ultimate, but then jumping to Rosaria for some freezing, because that of course is very useful. Eventually I decide to drop out Gooba through the use of Jangling for that pyro, because then you can also get a couple of melt beams there as well. And of course if everyone's on fire, then I swap back to Tart to use the bow ultimate, and it seems like with vaporized beams I'm doing around about 52,000 damage with his ultimate, so that is going to be very good. Sometimes under very special circumstances I can hit the 70,000 mark, so that is of course going to be very good if you're looking for those really high numbers. Otherwise I just basically use his bow as well. It's great for just simply attacking enemies, but I feel like it might be because I'm remote playing on console that would make the archery experience not so great. Perhaps if I was able to, I don't know, migrate my account from my PS4 to my PC, then perhaps the archery experience would be a lot better. We'll just have to see. that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. What do you think about my Tart build? How do you build Tart? Let me know in the comments. Perhaps use a different weapon, perhaps use some different artifacts, or potentially even a different set of artifacts. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.